Would you please leave without a fuss right now?
Okay.
Okay, I think the baddest has left. I think I'm just gonna just tell my story, then announce something in the end. I think I started wondering if I was liking girls. I'm a girl, but you probably knew. I think it started when I was 12-ish. #puberty. But because of the environment I grew up in and people around me, outside influence, I suppressed it till I was 20. First of I think probably the biggest influence was my biological dad. He's a homophobe and he's toxic. I have no contact with him. For more than this is only one reason I don't talk to him anymore. He has never touched me and done anything physical to me. It's all been mental gymnastics. And that's bad enough. Anyway, he is thinking that gay is bad, disgusting, and weird. Which is not. I'm weird, but that's not because I'm gay. That's because I'm weird. I'm a weirdo. We're all a little weird, aren't we? So yeah, I'm not offended by being weird. Just don't use my sexuality to explain it. It had nothing to do. Anyway, this is a list of his views, his thoughts, things he have said. Men wearing pink is gay, and that's bad. If a man on TV wears pink, he must be gay. That doesn't make sense because that must mean that every man in this. If that's so, it means that every single man in the 16th and 1700s were gay because everyone wore pink. Pink was a masculine color back then. Gay couples are disgusting. Gay parents are bad parents. Pride is unnecessary in Norway. They already have the right. It's a waste of money. Yes, we have many rights in Norway, but we don't have all. Another thing with my bio dad, biological is a long word, so I'm just gonna call him bio. Or maybe I should call him BO. Like Resident Evil, I don't... Anyway. Let's say I was a member of a debating club. I tried to censor it because of YouTube. You can think for yourself what that means. And in this club, it was a lady that he disagreed with. They had different views on different topics and so forth. And he thought that her views, what she was debating, her arguments was weird or wrong or anything. He was disagreed with her, so when we had family friends over that happened to be members of the same club, at the living room table, they were chatting, talking about stuff, and then this lady became a topic. And he's starting to questioning if she could attract a man if she had a husband, or maybe she was a lesbian. This is quote, maybe she's a lesbian, maybe she is a cat puncher. Cat punching me, it's for something else. And this was an episode that happened multiple times from my childhood. So I felt weird about that comment. He also laughed every time he said that. Every time that last comment came out of his mouth, he started laughing. He found that was the funniest thing he ever said. said in his head. I didn't want to be seen as a cat puncher, so I suppressed it. I wonder if he think of homosexuality as a fetish and nothing more than that. I wonder if most homophobes think of that. I don't know. That was the first thing. Second thing, the word gay or homo was a slur in the schoolyard. At school it was a slur. For one time I saw a kid, I have seen it several times, but the first time I saw it was a kid starting to beating up another kid for calling him homo. And my thought was, you can't be gay here. It's not safe to be gay here. If I remember correctly, I think I have suppressed some of the childhood memories too. I think it was the other way around too. They called the kid homo and then they punched him. So yeah, I couldn't go to. Some of you maybe wonder, can't you go to a counselor or something? And no, this was in the early 2000s, and still, I believe there were a counseling system. I don't remember, but I live in a small village to 5,000, 6,000 people. Maybe it doesn't sound small to some of you, and then it sounds super tiny to some others, but it was a small village. And we didn't have a regular school nurse. I don't think we had a counselor in school. This was in elementary school. And we also didn't have a regular school nurse. The same goes to our middle school too. I think we had a counselor in middle school, but that was career based only. But the thing with this small village is a village where everyone everyone knows everyone, aka rumors spread. Mostly for me it felt like everyone knew me, but I didn't know anyone, so I don't know what they talk. And because people believe in rumors and spread rumors, you couldn't stick out. That's a problem. I think that's a problem with it's an issue with small areas in general. I wasn't allowed to have secrets for the other girls in my class. If they wondered if I did something weird or did something unusual, they dragged it out of me. School nurse wasn't there every day. I think it was once a week or something. One day in a week, a couple of hours she was at the school, and the rest of the week she was gone. Poof. Perfect. Thank you, school system. It wasn't normal for me, even though she was few days. It wasn't normal for me to go to the school nurse. So if I went to the school nurse, the other girls in my class would see it and ask me why I go there. And of course I wouldn't say because it wasn't normal. So they would probably drag it out of me, and then they would talk about it, and then it would spread in the schoolyard, and then the parents will hear it. The teachers would probably talk about it, and the parents will talk about it, and then the whole village would talk about me, and then go back to my toxic dad. So no, I couldn't. I couldn't ask for help or talk to anyone. So no, I just shoved it back in my head. I believe this is the biggest reason many people go through years of suppressing themselves or don't understanding themselves or don't thinking of it. Don't understanding at all. And I also think this is the reason to some part of homophobia starts too. No representation. And no good representation. Sex ed in middle school, elementary school, sucked. We taught about the reproduction part, puberty part, and preventing to having kids. That was like the basic things, and also protecting against nasty illnesses. But nothing. It was very physical. It was very medical. Or it wasn't medical enough. somehow. You know how that thing is. This was an old school too, so I think my grandma, she was born in early 1900s, went to this school too. I think I was the third or fourth generation of my family going to the school or something. We had two books, either from the 80s or 90s, old books, one called about boys and one about girls. And only the boy book, I believe only the boy book had a couple of lines, maybe a paragraph about LGBTQ. Can we find a new word? Can I call it the Rainbow Gang? Those letters is a mouthful. The only thing that stood in the book was gay people are people that like the same gender as themselves. Bi people like both genders. Trans people born in the wrong body. It's very simplified. We actually call it born in wrong body in Norway. I don't know why. That was the basic I learned. It doesn't say anything. It's not even yes, it's a dictionary definition, but that doesn't say anything. Does it? It's very basic. It's very simple. And the only extra stuff I learned, that was because a boy in my class asked our teacher. That also randomly happened to be a very religious man. He was very kind. But anyway, he answered a question. The answer was, a gay man do it the butt way. That's all the extra stuff I learned about. So I didn't know shit. And that's what we do. We don't learn about it in a safe environment in school. So we go online and searching for hundreds of years, it feels like. The only person I knew that was gay was celebrities, and those I knew about was either stereotypes or was seen as very weird by the public. Like, either very feminine men, very masculine women. Also a lady that is very colorful. She's also a comedian. She is a very weird comedian. She looks like a rainbow, basically. She has a lot of colors and feathers and all in it. They're like extremely colorful. It wasn't normalized. I mean, there's nothing wrong with being more feminine, more masculine. It wasn't a neutral. It was either the one extreme to another extreme. It wasn't anything in the middle. And this is it wasn't a spectrum. It wasn't shown as a spectrum. Now it is very different though. So being straight or being attracted to the opposite gender, being hetero, was the norm, and that was... So I tried to live as a straight woman, a straight person, straight girl. I did date boys, but it was never this big. It was very dull. It was very bland. I remember an episode where a boy gave back my pencil. He borrowed a pencil from me, and end of class he gave it back. And I was like, oh, he's cute. And this kind of, oh, he's cute. Maybe he will be my boyfriend. And that's where it was rest of the day after school to morning to the recess. The next day, I saw him had a play fight with another boy, and then I lost all interest. Like, oh, he's just a stupid boy. I think I confused friendship with more romantic relationship too, because my romantic life is dull. Looking back, every time I remember when he maybe want to give me a hug, especially in public, I try to push him away, like, no, don't touch me. Don't touch me. Move away. And I have this idea in my head, like, why? Don't you want this? Don't you want to... You're a hugger. You like to hug people. Why don't you want him to hug you? What's going on? I never had the answer till... I have an answer now. But every time I found a girl attractive, it was like, oh, she's cute, or anything. I had this small, aggressive voice in my head popping up and said, no, you're not gay. Stop your perv. Like, very aggressive. I was calling myself bad shit. But just looking at another girl, just finding her cute, and then suddenly I was the worst person in the world for finding a person that just happened to be the same gender as me cute. At age 20, my parents separated. I think they have been divorced for 3 years. August this year, I think it's 3 years or something. Shortly after they split up and he moved out and I lived with my mom, I just one night watched a cartoon that happened to have a lesbian couple in it. And then I thought, when I saw it was a scene where the one girl kissed the other girl on the cheek. It was very simple. And I thought that I want that. Exactly that. So I started to do... I did what everyone do. I started googling shit. Looking up... I didn't googling quizzes. I didn't go for quizzes. I never did that. I went on YouTube watching videos of people coming out, watching documentaries about the topic and everything, and starting questioning things. Memories from past that I had suppressed popped up, and I'm like, oh shit, maybe I like girls too, because I did what every police inspector does in any British crime show. I rushed to a conclusion, and the conclusion was, I'm bi. I like both. This thing lasted to November 2021. This idea of me being bi. I was 23. I'm still 23. I'm turning 24 this month. And for some reason I also had a boyfriend. I have never had a girlfriend. I had this little voice saying... I didn't have this aggressive voice anymore that's telling me bad things, because I kind of accepted the idea of me being with a girl. I just hadn't accepted that I may be only a girl. And so there's another voice in my head, the same voice that said, I want this, I want that, to that episode, said, but what if you were with a girl? What if you had a girlfriend? And then I started panicking, maybe I'm gay. So I panicked and contacted a friend of mine that also is gay, and he had a chat with him, and he heard me out, and it's not his... What happens next in the story is not his fault, it's all on me. He was just said that, I support whatever you do, I'm here. So I end up breaking up with my boyfriend. We're still friends, we have regular contact and so on, so forth. No bad blood here. Why I took the bi first? It's a cliche, really, because I thought that if I was bi, I could at least... I still had the chance to get with a boy, I will still be accepted, I still be normal. And I also was afraid that if I go fully gay, I will be seen as a crazy man-hating lesbian feminist, which doesn't make any sense, because most of my friends are male. I don't hate men, I just see them as friends, not lovers. So yeah, I waited. I figured out I need to break. I figured out that I couldn't have a boyfriend if I was thinking I was gay. So because what if I'm correct, and plus I can't drag. I have to tell him now before it goes too long. before it's come too complicated. I don't want to end up to so many, like, almost marrying him and then say, no, I don't like you, I'm not into you, really. Oh, awkward. So I just cut it there. It was pretty early in the relationship. So on Valentine's Day this year, in 2022, if you see this in the future, I did what I do now. To my friends on Discord, I came out of to them as gay. It was terrifying, but everyone did what the black dog in this gif is doing. So yeah, that's my story. That's part of my life. So before nothing will change to the channel, really. It will still be a gaming channel. It will still be gaming content, video games, with my silly jokes or stupid jokes. Just more colors, really, and the only change happened probably would be I will probably add a rainbow flag on my banner. But before we wrap up, I had a little announcement thing. I have an idea. This is the reason I posted now and not in June. It's because I planned something in June and I need your guys' help. I live in a country where it's pretty safe. Be who I am. I believe, as law-wise, there are laws that protects me and so forth. It wasn't that before. It was being a gay man wasn't okay law-wise before 1972, which I believe is many. I don't know how many years ago it is, but geez, that's a long time ago. And 95% of people today think gay is a-okay. But I know there are people in countries, people in places that doesn't have the same privilege as that I have. I think it's almost 60 countries out there where this being gay is either illegal, as in jail time, or execution. So I want to run a charity thing, a series. I want to play Far Cry 6 because Far Cry, that game is about freedom fighting. I believe most of the Far Cry games, I love the series by the way, is about freedom fighting. The main objective, the main thing is that it's a big dude, a dictator, terrorist, cult leader, crazy person that wants power, that have too much power, abusing his power, taking control of an area, a country, a village, island, and abusing his people, or not his or her people, really, just being bad to people, taking away people's rights. So I feel that this game fits the narrative of the charity, because that's what is about. We want our rights, we want to be seen as normal, because we are normal. So I want to play Far Cry 6. I probably can stream the other games, maybe. But I need a charity, because I'm teeny tiny. I think I need 1,000 subs to link a charity directly through YouTube. They have a system where they take the monetization of specific videos to the charity through a YouTube system. I can't do that because I'm too small, but what I can do is link directly to a charity in the description. But I need a charity. I need to know something. I don't know where. I have heard about the Trevor Project. I believe that's the biggest one. But if you know there's something that's, I don't know, better or something, please tell me in the comments. And also, if you have questions about me in this topic, I'm probably gonna talk some about it in the Far Cry series. You can click that too, or anyway, but yeah, I hope this was worth listening to, and I hope that you have a good day. I don't know how to end this. I don't know how to end this video. Thank you for watching, and see you in another one. Bye bye.